from the cape can you discern at sea?
Nothing at all. It is a high route flood. I cannot twixt the heaven and the main descry a sail.
Methinks the wind hath spoke aloud at land. A fuller blast ne'er shook our battlements. If it hath ruffian upon the sea, what ribs of oak, when mountains melt on them, could hold the Mortees? What shall we hear of this?
A segregation of the Turkish fleet, for do but stand upon the foaming shore. The Chittim billow seems to pelt the clouds, the wind shakes surge with high and monstrous waves. Seems to cast water on the burning bear and quench the guards of the ever-fixed pulse, and ever did like the molestation view of the enchanted flood.
Be not in shelter and invade, they are drowned. It is impossible to bear it out.
News, lads! Our war is done. The desperate tempest has so banged the Turks that their designment halts. A noble ship of Venice has seen a grievous wreck and sufferance on the most part of their fleet.
How? Is this true?
The ship is here put in of Veronica. Michael Cassio, lieutenant to the warlike Moor Othello, is come on shore, the Moor himself at sea, and is in full commission here on Cyprus.
I'm glad on it. 'Tis a worthy governor.
But this same Cassio, though he speak of comfort, touching the Turkish loss, yet he looks sadly, and prayers the more he be safe, for they were parted with foul and violent tempest.
Pray heavens he be, for I have served him. And the man commands like a full soldier. Let's to seaside, ho! As well to see the vessel that come in, as to throw out our eyes for brave Othello, even till we make the main, and the aerial blue, as indistinct regard.
Come, let's do so, for every minute is expectancy of more arrivals.
They do discharge their shout of courtesy, our friends at least.
I pray you, sir, go forth, and give us truth who 'tis that is arrived.
I shall. But, good lieutenant, is your general wived?
Most fortunately, he hath achieved a maid, the paragons of description and wild fame, one that excels the quirks of blazoning pens, and in the essential vesture of creation does tire the ingenier. Oh, behold, the riches of ship is come ashore. You men of Cyprus, let her have your knees. Hail to thee, lady, and thy grace of heaven, before, behind thee, and on every hand, and wheel thee round.
I thank you, valiant Cassio. What tidings can you tell me of my lord?
He has not yet arrived, nor know I aught, but that he's well and will be shortly here.
Oh, but I fear, how lost in company?
The great contention of the seas and skies parted our fellowship.
A sail! A sail!
But hark, a sail!
They give their greetings to their citadel. This likewise is a friend.
See for the news. Good ancient, you are welcome. Welcome, mistress. Let it gall not your patience, good Iago, that I extend my manners. 'Tis my breeding. That gives me this bold show of courtesy.
Sir, would she not give you so much of her lips as of her tongue she bestows on me, you would have enough. Alas, she has no speech. In faith, too much. I find it still when I have leave to your sleep. Marry, before your ladyship I grant, she puts her tongue a little in her heart and chides with thinking.
You've little cause to say so.
Come on, come on. You are pictures out of door, bells in your parlor, wildcats in your kitchen, saints in your injuries, devils being offended, players in your housewifery, and housewives in your bed.
Oh, fie upon thee, slanderer.
Nay, it is true, or else I am a Turk. You rise to play and you go to bed to work.
You shall not write my praise.
No, let me not.
What wouldst thou write of me, if thou shouldst praise me?
O gentle lady, do not put me to it, for I am nothing but a critic.
Come on, essay, there's one gone to the harbor.
Ay, madam.
I am not married, but I do beguile. The thing I am by seeming otherwise, come, how wouldst thou praise me?
I am about it, but indeed my invention comes from my pate as birdlime does from fries. It plucks out the brains and all, but my muse labors, and thus she is delivered. And if she be fair and wise, fairness and wit, there's one for use, and others useth it.
Well praised. How if she be black and witty?
If she be black, and there to have a wit, she find a wife that shall fit her blackness.
Worse and worse. How be fair and foolish?
She never yet was foolish that was fair, for even her folly helped her to an heir.
These are old fond paradoxes to make fools laugh. I, the alehouse, what miserable praise hast thou for her that's foul and foolish?
There's none so foul and foolish thereunto, but does foul pranks which fair and wise ones do.
Oh, heavy ignorance, thou praisest the worst best. But what praise couldst thou bestow on a deserving woman indeed, one that in the authority of her merit did justly put on the vouch of very malice itself?
She that was ever fair and never proud, had tongue at will, and yet was never loud, never lacked gold, and yet never went gay, fled from her wish, and yet said, now I may. She that being angered, her revenge being nigh, bade her strong wrong stay, and her displeasure fly. She that in wisdom never was so frail, to change the cod's head for the salmon's tail. She that could think, and ne'er disclose her mind, see suitors following, and not look behind. She was a white, if ever a white were.
To do what?
To suckle fools and chronicle small beer.
O most lame and impotent conclusion, do not learn of him, Amelia, though he be thy husband. How say you, Cassio? Is he not a most profane and liberal counselor?
He speaks home, madame. You may relish him more in the soldier than in the scholar.
He takes her by the palm. I well said, whisper. With as little as a web as this will I ensnare a great a fly as Cassio. I smile upon her do. I will give thee in thine own courtship. You say true? 'Tis so indeed. If such tricks as these strip you out of your lieutenantry, it had been better you had not kissed your 3 fingers so oft, which now again you are most apt to play the Surin. Very good, well kissed, an excellent courtesy. 'Tis so indeed. Yet again your fingers to your lips. Were clyster pipes for your sake? The more, I know his trumpet.
'Tis truly so.
Let's meet him and receive him.
Lo, where he comes.
Oh, my fair warrior!
My dear Othello.
It gives me wonder great is my content to see you here before me. Oh, my soul's joy! If after every tempest calm such calms, may the wind blow till they have wakened death, and let the laboring bark climb hills of seas Olympus high, and duck again as low as hells from heaven. If it were now to die, 'twere now to be most happy, for I fear my soul hath her content so absolute, that not another comfort like this succeeds an unknown fate.
The heavens forbid, but that our loves and comforts should increase even as our days do grow.
Amen to that, sweet powers. I cannot speak enough of this content. It stops me here. It is too much of joy. Kiss. And this, the greatest discords be that ere our hearts shall shake.
Oh, you are well tuned now, but I'll set down the pegs that make this music, as honest as I am.
Come, let us to the castle. News, friends, our wars are done. The Turks are drowned. How does my old acquaintance of this as a honey? You shall be well desired in Cyprus. I have found great love amongst them. Oh, my sweet, I prattle out of fashion, and I doubt in mine own comforts. I pray thee, good Iago, go to the bay and disembark my coffers. Bring thou to the master of the citadel. He is a good one, and his worthiness does challenge much respect. Come, Desdemona. Once more, well met at Cyprus.
Do thou meet me presently at the harbor. Come hither, if thou beest valiant. As they say, base men being in love, have they then a nobility in their natures, more than is native to them. List me. The lieutenant tonight watches on the court of guard. First, I must tell thee this. Desdemona is directly in love with him.
With him? Why, 'tis not possible.
Lay thy finger thus, and let thy soul be instructed. Mark me with what violence she first loved to the more. But for bragging and telling her fantastical lies, to love him still for prating, let not thy discreet heart to think it. Her eye must be fed, and what delight shall she have to look upon the devil? When the blood is made dull with the act of sport, there should be again to inflame it, and to give satiety a fresh appetite, loveliness and favor, sympathy in years, manners, and beauties, all which the Moor is defective in. Now, for want of these required conveniences, her delicate tenderness will find itself abused, begin to heave the gorge, disrelish and abhor the Moor. Very nature will instruct her in it, and compel her to some second choice. Now, sir, this granted, as it is most pregnant and enforced position, who stands so eminent in the degree of this fortune as Cassio does, a knave very voluble, no further consonable than in putting on the mere form of a civil and humane seeming, for the better compass of his salts, and most hidden loose affection. Why none? A slipper and subtle knave, and finder occasion, that has an eye can stamp and counterfeit advantages.
though true advantage never present itself, a devilish knave. Besides, the young knave is handsome, young, and hath all those requisites that in him that folly and green minds look after. A pestilent, complete knave, and the woman hath found him already.
I cannot believe that in her. She's full of most blessed condition.
Blessed fig's end. The wine she drinks is made of grapes. If she had been blessed, she would have never loved the more. Blessed pudding! Didst thou not see her paddle with the palm of his hand? Didst thou not mark that?
Yes, that I did, but that was but courtesy.
Lechery by this hand, an index of obscure prologue to the history of lust and foul thoughts. They met so near with the lips that their breath embraced together. Villainous thoughts, Rodrigo, when these mutinalities so marshal the way. Hard at hand comes the master and main exercise, the incorporate conclusion. Pish, but sir, be ruled by me. I have brought you from Venice. Watch you tonight, for the command, I'll lay it upon you. Cassio knows you not. I'll not be far from you. Do you find some occasion to anger Cassio, either by speaking too loud, or tainting his discipline, or form what other course you please, which the time shall be more favorable minister?
Well,
sir, he's rash, and very sudden to choler, and haply may strike at you. Provoke him that he may, for even out of that will I cause these of Cyprus to meet me, whose qualifications shall come into no true taste again, but by displanting of Cassio. So shall you have a shorter journey to your desires, by the means I shall then have to prefer them, and the impediment most profitable removed, without the which there were no expectation of our posterity.
I will do this if you can bring it to any opportunity.
I warrant thee. Meet me by and by at the citadel. I must fetch these necessaries ashore. Farewell.
Adieu.
That Cassio loves her, I do well believe it. That she loves him, 'tis apt, and for of great credit. The more, howbeit, that I endure him not. It is a constant, loving, noble nature, and I dare think he'll prove to Desdemona a most dearing husband. Now I do love her too, not out of absolute lust, though peradventure I stand accountable for a great sin, but partly led to my diet of revenge. For that I do respect the lusty Moor, hath leaped into my seat, and the thought whereof doth, like a poisonous mineral, gnaw my innards, and nothing can or shall content my soul. 'Tis I am evened with him, wife for wife, or failing so, yet that I put the Moor, at least into a jealousy so strong, that judgment cannot cure. Which thing to do, if this poor trash of Venice, whom I trace for this quick hunting, shall be put on? I'll have our Michael Cassio at the hip, abuse him to the more in the rank garb, for I fear Cassio with my nightcap too, making the Moor thank me, love me, and reward me for making him ingratious an ass, and practicing upon his peace and quiet, even to madness. 'Tis here yet confused. Knavery, plain face, is never seen till used.